Hello, hello, guys. How are you? Welcome to Dippin' Time. My name is Rhonda, and I am excited for our special pop-up tonight. How is everyone? Are you having a good evening? If you can't hear me, please do let me know, because sometimes I keep forgetting I'm on, and I'm like, I don't know. Let's see who is here. Sue Wilson, hello from Ontario. How is the weather? I hope it's good. Hopefully it's not too cold. Muttnuts is in the house. Yes, you're going to be listening and resting. Been a long day getting home. Muttnuts, we are definitely thinking about you. You are in our prayers and thoughts. Dixie's in the house. Garden Craft. Sean paints sparkly stuff. Love that name. Michigan, yeah. Billy's here, crafting with Mary, Raccoon Eyes, another name I absolutely love. Marla, hello, hello, +2. That's a great name. We have Sue Layden. Jenny's in here. Kaylin, how are you? Lisa. Michelle Morris, how are you? Nancy's here. Jen M, aka Cat J Bell. How are you guys? So, how was your weekend? I know my weekend has kind of flown by. So, before I knew it, was like, oh no, I I had to get my butt upstairs. Gotta get my butt upstairs. Bonnie, hello, hello. How are you guys? Yes, Muttnuts. It was a good time seeing family, but a sad time at the same time. Yeah, you are definitely not alone. Linda, hello, hello. Tammy, hey, how you doing? Kaylin, I got a hold my grandson, 2 weeks old. Oh my goodness, congratulations. What a bundle of joy. Yes, Momo is here. So I did get a bit done on my painting, which is good. It's good because now I have a less section to do. Yes, congrats. That is awesome. Diamonds around the world. Hello, hello. Oh my goodness. So what else is new? I don't know how much more is new. Jess, hello, hello. I can't believe it is like December 15th already. The time has gone by so fast on this event. And I can't believe how much fun we've been having. What have you guys enjoyed the most? Michelle, hello, hello. I think one of the things I like is seeing just everyone working on their pieces and really quite enjoying that and all the different pieces. I like the fact that we're all supporting each other as we work on wrapping things up. And then there's new ones being started. I like the fact that we are able to do other pieces and finish ones that were our whips, specials. Jeannie says, finishing my 4th kit today. Yeah. Just take a look here. Yeah, Michelle, it's gone by so fast. I Don't know what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, I have 2 months. I'm good to go. No, that's because it's been fun talking with everyone. Yeah, right? Like before I know it, it's like an hour's gone by and I'm like, I have to say bye? No. Linda, I like seeing new to me sponsors. Yep. And like I got to know some of them in person and I'm just like, you are incredible. People need to know who you are. It is really interesting. Rosalind, hello, hello. Jenny Nix, hello, hello. Nancy says, I like that it's a positive community in seeing everyone's work. Yeah. Michelle, is there a finish form we need to fill up? Nope. Nope. It is just having fun. Ellen, yay! Actually made this live. Woohoo! Mama, I'm enjoying watching everyone's progress. Meeting new sponsors is exciting too. Yeah. Sean, I have never bought so much stuff from Etsy until this event, and I blame it on you guys. Broad shoulders, broad shoulders. I'm wiggling because I'm sitting on my stool. There. My butt is now on there. Jen M, I'm having fun. Would have liked to have more of my canvas by now, only halfway done. You're more than I am. I'm just saying, you are more than I am. I was actually looking at the section I have. So on my canvas, it is 95 by 60, I think it is, or something like that. Last night I have 65 by 43 still to do. But as we know, it is not a competition. There is no running around going, I have to have this finished. We're just going to enjoy our time. So I did do this part of my canvas, and then I actually turned and I started doing the sky across. And there's more color blocking in that. And I am really trying to multi-place. I'm trying to multi-place. Yes. Ditzy, hello, hello. Courtney, Amber. Yeah, Marcia says, I had to finish my painting as it's going to Virginia with me on Tuesday for my grandson. That would make sense. That would make sense. We're going to cheer you on. You got this. You can do this. And they will enjoy it. That's all there is to it. Jeannie says, not at all. Having the freedom to do what I want has been inspiring. Yeah. And I know sometimes it's really hard to be okay with doing something that is kind of structured, where it is more of this needs to be done, has to be this size, this theme, you need to jump through these hoops, you need to do these forms and post. Now, I know I get confused and I get lost, especially when there's events that I want to participate in, and then I get fog brain. And then I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be posting, where I'm posting, what my hashtag is, by when, what do I have to check? Not a clue. And just having an event where we can just do what makes us sparkle sometimes can be hard because we put expectations on ourselves. But we're going to have fun and just have that freedom and have the opportunity to change things up. So that is awesome. Rosalind's here. Hello, hello. Marcia says, I have been doing some of the small items in the advent calendar. Yes. Nice. Melinda hands. Barbara, hello, you guys. How are you? Oh, my goodness. I'm just going to take a quick look and see if our guest is here. They are in a different time zone, so I am just going to keep chatting with you until everything is good. I'm going to try and reach out another way. If not, what we're just going to do is we're just going to go browse, if that is okay with you guys. Now, I had an opportunity to meet Jade in person last summer. And oh my goodness, she is a spitfire. She has a wonderful personality, great, generous heart. She's just incredible. I'm just going to do a quick message to her. What is my computer doing now? There we go. Okay, just did that. I did send it to her earlier, but I was just we'll be on the safe side because this is a surprise. Michelle says it's been a lot of fun. Billy, yes, when you're doing 3 events in different rules, right? I'm like, I wish it was just one rule. Just have fun. And I understand that there needs to be some guidelines to it. And I'm okay with that. It's just, I even tried doing like the calendar and putting things in my calendar, and then I got overwhelmed, and then it was like, I'll remember that. I'll remember that. But then it was also trying to shuffle between my canvases, because you have one canvas for this to fit that theme, and you have to have a different canvas to fit that theme. And it's like, oh my God, for me, I think 3 events is my max. I can't do it. Even though I want to support everybody, I can't do it. Amber says, I have really enjoyed your event thus far. I don't do well under a lot of pressure, and this has been so laid back. Good. Yes. The year's been stressful enough, and there's so much stuff going on that we're just gonna have fun and it's okay. We don't need a finish. We didn't need a new start, and it was just all good. Marsha, if it wasn't for Tammy, I would have lost at all. I would have lost at all the things I'm supposed to be posting. She keeps in check. Yes, doesn't she? Tammy has been really good. Well, everyone's been really good. I'm just like, oh, thank goodness, people are reminding me. And that's what the community is about, is we're here to support it and encourage and cheer and celebrate each and every one of us. Hey, Jen's in the house. Hello. Melinda says, I've been working on my smaller event canvases because I have my dining table all set up for Christmas Eve dinner, and I don't want to mess it up. Right? I know my J wall is in the closet over there, but starting in January, I'm going to clear this off, and that's going to go there because I can leave it there and I don't need to shuffle everything else around. So I absolutely agree with you. Oh, Jen says, I agree, Amber. A little guidance, but lots of fun, just being able to breathe. And no, I'm not behind. I'm just with people. Yes, absolutely. Jen says, Amber, this is what a normal event with us is like. If you see my name with a co-host, this is usually what you will get. Yeah. And that's why I was kind of like, Jen, you want a co-host? You need a co-hoster? Okay. because I knew it would be more relaxed. And I know the people that were in the chat. So I'm like, okay, I don't feel so stressed out. Melinda says, I'm thinking next year I might take December off because I'm itching to make some sugar cookies and decorate them. And that's a big old mess in itself. And they're yummy. Yes, they're yummy. Linda, the good thing about this event is it's okay to set it aside for a while. Absolutely. Yep. You can change it up. You have those choices. Amber says, definitely love that I could use whips. Got one knocked off my to-do list. Yes. Linda says, the only thing I couldn't figure out was posting a link on Instagram. Linda, you will figure out. Oh, look who we have. How are you? I'm so excited. Okay, are you ready?
Hi.
Oh my goodness. I just want to like reach through the screen and hug you. Oh my goodness. Oh.
I'm sorry I'm late. I mixed up. I'm so bad with time zones. I thought it was 7, so I had my alarm set for 7. And then I went to check my email just because I was doing work, and then I was like, 6! Ah!
It's all good. Take a pause, take a breath. You are where you need to be. It is all good. So everybody, this is Jade. I love Jade.
I love you.
Oh, she's so sparkly. And she's a little tiny person. Like,
oh yeah.
She's shorter than I am. So if anybody who knows me,
I'm 4'6".
Oh, I'm sorry. How tall are you?
4'6". I'm legally a little person.
Are you really? Oh my goodness! But you know what?
Don't move my desk. My husband's trying to be nice and move things out of the way for me. I'm like, don't touch my desk.
Oh, the great things come in small packages, everybody. I'm just saying. I got to meet Jade at the Texas retreat last summer. OMG. Like I've seen you, I've heard you, I see what you do, and I'm like, oh, I like her. And then I met you and I'm like, oh, no, I like her.
I will say I'm exactly who I am on camera as I am in person. There's no difference. I am the same person. I don't have time to act like two different people.
But I think for me, that is what I really appreciate is the authenticity. And it's like what you see is what you get. And it's kind of like me too. I can be really go, and then I'm like, just leave me alone.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly how you were when we talked at the retreat. Like, you're definitely the same as you are on YouTube as in person, and I love
that. Oh, awesome. Okay, so Jen is in the back. Jen, would you like to come in too?
Jen! Hi, Jade!
Hi, Jen!
How are you?
I'm good. A little frazzled because I'm not good with times. I have ADHD. I'm not good with times at
You're
all.
okay.
I'm bad with timers, time zones, all that stuff.
Well, this is the best event to sponsor then because, you know, we're laid back. We show up late I show up late for my own lives.
So Jade, don't feel. Oh, look, there's a fur puppy. Hello, fur puppy.
Hi, fur puppy.
Hello, baby.
This is my baby. I've had him since I was a senior in high school.
Oh. Okay, so don't feel bad, Jade. I was downstairs and my husband's like, okay, I got dinner ready. I'm like, okay, I got an hour and a half. We're good. I'm working on my canvas. We got the SNL in the background. I'm like, okay, 15 minutes. I'm good. Oh my God, I got 3 minutes. I gotta go now. I literally was like running upstairs. I'm like, bye.
I want to see you run.
there's a reason that when I do lives, I never set an exact time. I'm like, I'm probably going live on this day.
I understand that. And I will say that this event has actually helped me get better at coming and being consistent.
Yeah, I need to start going live again. I miss it.
Oh.
So I love when people like you ask me to join lives because like it puts me back like, oh, I should do that again.
You guys need to check out Jade and her shop, her YouTubes. Go and tag her. Go, hey Jade, hi, we're thinking of you.
You're all comment in the thing so that they can see my username and just go click on that.
Yep. We need to get this woman to our retreat. Yes. Yeah, you need to come to Ohio.
Ohio. Hold on, let me go look at a map. I'm also horrible at geography.
Where are you? We can
help you. That was one of the classes I failed in high school. And it's not because I was bad at it. The teacher was awful and I got kicked out almost every day.
Hi, Roslyn.
Yes, Ditz. Jade has a channel also.
Oh, you're going like the Great Lakes. Oh, you're far.
I go from Canada. Okay, but
we have also from Alaska.
I do not fly. I just drive.
I don't drive either.
What state are you in, Jade?
California. I'm right by Disneyland and Los Angeles. I'm about an hour and a half from Los Angeles, about 45 minutes to an hour from Disneyland.
Okay.
Oh, that would be her brain's going.
What was that?
Going.
My brain?
You said, yeah, your brain is starting to work.
Well,
and
it was,
then you said it was like
that's a 2.5 to 3 day drive. That's a bit of a drive.
Yeah, when my husband, I didn't drive. I was about to say when I drove. No, my husband, thankfully, he drove me to the Texas retreat, and it took us 3 days to go there and 3 days to come back. Because like he wouldn't have me drive. Like I was like, no, I can drive half the time. And he's like, no, we'll just get a motel. I felt like such a princess. I was just cuddling my 2 dogs for the road trip, and he was just driving the whole way.
Oh, and her husband is awesome. I got to meet him at Becki's.
He's also hot. But of course I'm going to think that he's...
Well, there's a reason you picked him, right?
Well, he picked me, but...
But you had to say yes and agree. Otherwise, it would be, something we'd have to report.
Yeah, we definitely, I will say, if you see us together, we don't look like we would be together.
Is he like 6'8"?
No, next to me, he looks 6'8". Like if we take a picture, he looks 6'8", just because like when there's no context of things around me, I'm very proportionate. I don't look short. Like in pictures, I don't look short. But next to him, it makes him look like a giant. He's only 5'11".
But so, yeah, there's the size difference.
But he's a 1.5 feet taller than me. And
that's a little bigger than what between me and my husband is. There's a foot difference between us.
Yeah, and he's we're the same age, but he's like a tall, like muscular Mexican man with a big mustache and a goatee. And then I'm just like this tiny little like white passing, like tiny person.
Yes, we're not politically correct around here. We're good. So Jade, tell us about your shop. How did you come about it?
Well, basically, I got obsessed with diamond painting, as everyone does. I got my first diamond painting 2020, Christmas 2020, and fell in love with it over a day. Immediately went and bought more. And as I was working on more and more kits, I was like figuring out the things I liked and I didn't like. And I was trying to figure out why I liked certain things and why I didn't. I went into a deep dive of like, what are resin drills, what are acrylic drills? And that's one of my most popular videos is, I froze?
Yeah, you froze just for a moment.
Oh, okay. But one of my most
You're back.
popular videos is my video for resin versus acrylic, because I got very deep into like what I like, what I didn't like, and I realized I hated acrylic drills, and especially during 2020, 2021, most diamond painting companies had acrylic drills, and I hated them. And especially because I only like squares, I hate acrylic squares. Just, they're not the vibe for me. So then I was like, well, I really like this kit from this company, but I don't like these drills, and I won't work on it if it has these drills. So then I went through so many suppliers and tested, I think it ended up being around 20 suppliers. And they would
Wow.
say they had resin drills, but they were not resin drills, because a lot of them lie because it's cheaper, and they're like, oh, you'll pay more if we say it's resin. And then I found my supplier.
And they think we're stupid. Like, I've worked with these companies, you know, from
I've
overseas.
had to help out a lot of mutual small shops, because I like buy from all kinds of small shops, diamond painting businesses. There's no reason for me not to buy from other shops, because I'm obsessed with diamond painting anyway. And I've had to message like friends and be like, hey, your supplier's lying to you. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, you have it listed on your website. These are resin drills. They're not. I don't care if that's what you want to sell, but like, just so you know, they're lying and you shouldn't be paying more for that. And I've done that to quite a few shops. And again, not trying to be shady. I'm like, no, get your money's worth, girl.
Right.
Yeah, it's more of an informed thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And
It's not saying it's bad, or
like,
if you like them, then great. But as long as you have the information so you can make that informed decision.
Well, if you're paying how much? Like if you're paying, I'm just going to make this number up, right? Yeah. If you're paying 20% more because they're better drills, you know,
then you should get those better drills.
You should get better drills.
Yeah, so I was, figuring out what I liked, and I got really hooked on drills. And then I got these kits, and I was like, I won't work on them. So I found this supplier, and I just bought like 250 grams of each color. And I was like, well, maybe other people want this.
Imagine you're swimming through colors.
So I made my website. Originally, they were just in these big, like, Target bins, and I would just go through them and pick out what people wanted. And I was like, okay, like, I'll sell drills. And for the first, 9 months of my business, I was just selling drills. And after that, people were like, well, why don't you make diamond paintings? And I was like, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know anything about, art licensing or anything like that. But I was, really obsessed with a few artists on Instagram. And I messaged them, and I was like, how would you feel about this? Like, I haven't had any yet, so I don't want to make any promises, but I'd love to do this. And they said, yeah, let's do it. And so I just started making diamond paintings, and then started adding more, and then finding more artists that I was obsessed with, and adding more. And now it's gotten to this point. And around May, I started doing hand charted kits that I hand chart. And I'm the one who does the special drills. I make sure that it's up to my standard, because even if I buy a render from my supplier, I still spend 7-8 hours fixing it to make it just perfect. And so that's my current venture, is being really into hand rendering.
Well, one of my favorite artists right now is Cat Fedora.
Love her.
And you have Cat Fedora. So I'm saving up my money, and I was really sad I didn't have any money over Black Friday, so I couldn't grab your Black Friday deals. But that's my next adventure.
Well, I don't know if you've purchased from me before, but
I need to jump into it.
So no matter what, you will always get a 25% discount code for your first purchase, or if you haven't used that code before, and that's new friend for 25% off. That's what my discount is on my big sale days. So your first one, no matter what. Here, I'll put that in the chat.
That's perfect, guys. If you have not checked out her store, go check it out.
And again, that's not me saying, oh, you have to go.
No.
It's just you have that discount whenever you need it. You don't have to wait for any special sale.
No, but how I found out is I was like, I wonder if this artist has contacted any diamond painters companies or if any companies have contacted her. So I Googled her name and diamond painting, and your name popped up. And I was like, yay!
Yeah, she actually contacted me, strangely enough. Usually I'm always contacting the artist. She said she had heard about my quality and, you know, seen all my reviews on my website and was like, this is the person I want to go with. And I was like, my friend, Munimade, she owns the shop Munimade. She really loved that artist, and she was like, oh, I wish I could sign with her. So I told Kat Fedora, I was like, I'll sign you if you sign my friend too. So now she's both.
Oh yeah. So definitely go check out this store. I have to say, I have to say, when I met you in Texas and we got to see your kits and your drills, and
What is that?
what is that? Well, I just took it off, but let me.
She's always showing us weird things, Jade. She just like shows us and goes, hey, look at this. And we're like, okay, context.
Context? You don't need context.
Yes.
It's like Rhonda and her wacky supply of cool stuff. It is a pen.
And they are pens. They are nothing else. They're nothing else to it.
Hint, hint, hint.
Don't bend over.
These are pens. Pens, I tell you. Pens.
See, when I left Texas, I had to, I'm like, oh, that one's mine. That one's mine. So yes.
I always feel weird when I unbox a pen because, you know, like when you're holding them or showing them on video, it's like,
oh,
I'm trying not
really
to be
good.
phallic here.
It's not too heavy. I can hold it different ways.
See, I made these pens because I have carpal tunnel, and regular pens, either the ones that come with kits or like the acrylic, like longer ones, like the one you're holding, I will get cramps and I can only diamond paint for about an hour. This, I could diamond paint all day, no problem.
Nice.
Although everyone, when I walk in, asks if this is something to go in somewhere, and I say, no, it is not.
Yes, it is. It goes in my hand.
Exactly, but no other orifice.
I'm sure because you went to the Texas retreat, you met Kara, the principal painter.
Yes, I love her. But, you know, there's actually a really funny meme that me and her made together because she's so tall, and I'm so.
Oh, yes.
I'll have to find that and send it to you guys.
Yes, absolutely. Just imagining.
Oh, it
literally looked like the principal speaking to one of her students. I'm like, oh my God. Am I supposed to laugh at this? Because I'm laughing at this. I hope it's okay.
Oh, yes, you should laugh at it. It is funny.
But before she had a YouTube channel, she was joking about how I opened up a pen and she came in right at a moment and she was just like dying laughing because I'm one of the most, I mean, this channel has like brought me from rated G to like PG-13, but I'm like one of the most innocent minded people a lot of times. And so she was like dying with how I was talking. So we decided, like, we joked about doing an unboxing and just made it over the top with all of these different one-liners that out of context sound really bad, but are all about a diamond painting pen. It was so funny.
I love that. Like a double entendre.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Oh, yes. So there's a couple of questions in chat here for you, Jade.
Yes.
Yumi. Sorry, I'm going to say it wrong. Yumi. Do you have any Yumi
Yumi.
art. Yumi.
Like in my collection?
Yes, to
I
sell.
think to sell. Yeah. Have you signed her on?
Yume? I believe
Yeah,
she's
the art.
Diamond Art Club.
Yeah. So anybody that's Diamond Art Club is pretty exclusive. They have like
The only artist that I have that also Diamond Art Club has is Carissa Bug. And I think there might be why am I missing her name? Hold on, let me look through my artist names. I have them on my
All
computer
good.
here. I believe it starts with an R. Runa Marudi.
Mm.
So those are the only two that me and Diamond Art Club both have signed. But I believe Yume is just with Diamond Art Club.
Okay. Momo would like you to explain hybrid rendering.
Okay,
Can you
so
explain more about that?
Ooh.
Yeah, so hybrid rendering, it's a hybrid between a computer render and hand rendering. So when you're looking at diamond paintings, you can always tell if something's like fully hand rendered or something's like completely a computer spit it out. And I've always, when I started diamond painting, I really wanted it to look as close to the original picture as possible. So what I did with my supplier is we'll do the computer render, right, to get the base, and then we'll go in and hand touch things up to make it look perfect. But it's not going to be fully hand rendered. So there's still a lot of confetti, a lot of blending. It's really great for watercolor pieces. But that's like if you like, one, a lot of confetti. I am the confetti queen. Or two, you want things to, in the end, look closer to the picture than to look like pixel art. Then hand render, I mean, we all know that, like big shops like, Dreamer Designs, Diamond Art Club, Diamond Dots, where it's very obviously like kind of that 8-bit feel. Those are more hand charted. So even if you go on my website, at the top of my website, there's multiple sections. There's hand rendered kits. So that's going to be kits that are specifically placed dot by dot to be a little bit easier and more beginner friendly. And, similar again to those bigger shops like Diamond Art Club, Craftably when they were here, and stuff like that. But when you go to hybrid, you'll see that the renders look a lot closer to the original because they are able to blend several colors and everything together with that confetti. So that's really the main difference, is like level of difficulty and then end result being more precise to the original image or being more 8-bit.
No, and that's really good because I know when I first got into it, it was just like, I love the image and I had to get the image, but I didn't actually look at the rendering. And then I get the rendering and I'm like, okay, they say trust the process. I'm going to trust the process. And some of them turned out fine, but other ones were like, no,
I wish I didn't trust this process.
Yeah, who told me to trust the process? The process sucks, right? But yeah, it's really hard because that's not what we're drawn to. It's usually the image that we're drawn to, and then trying to understand too about size and the detail and all that other stuff, right? Oh, Momo's scrolling through the website now.
Excuse me.
I have to say, I am pretty addicted to my kits. I'm not going to lie. I do work on other shops' kits. I like, staying in the loop and seeing how things grow and change. But I mean, it is my shop. Not to my own horn, but I really like my quality.
Your quality's good. I'm just saying. It's damn good.
And I just recently signed a pixel artist who we've had a lot more smaller kits. I actually have one. I just finished it right here.
Ooh. Okay, hang on. I'm going to make you bigger. If I can do this.
So
that's cute.
Oh my
that's
goodness.
adorable.
And it's like the little cryptids, like Sasquatch, Wendigos, Nightwalkers,
And
Oh,
for a
I need
small
that one.
kit, that turned out really well.
And
Yeah.
not to toot my own horn, but look at that shine. Look at that shimmer.
Oh my goodness.
I
That is
love that
so
one.
cute.
Is
Yeah,
that
and
one
we
available
have-
or is it coming
Yes.
up available?
This is available. So this is from the artist Flossie Fox Shop. We have a lot of things from her, and they are all in this like cute little 8-bit style, and most of them range in the 30 by 30 centimeter range. Janine, I have been told that I have a very tight grid, but it's not too tight, where you're like straining your wrist. So I don't mind showing this up close. I don't know if it'll focus, but I do
There you
not
go.
think we have too much gapping.
Yeah, Jen and I were talking about the spacing, especially for squares, and that, you want a little bit of space for some fluctuation. And Jen had mentioned temperature, which I hadn't even thought of, because temperature in the house changes, right?
Yes.
So you want to have that expand and the contrast, but you don't want a huge amount of gapping where you're just like, oh my God, I could fit, like if I squish them all this way, I could fit another whole grill in there.
Measurement I use when we're turning our files into printable files. Like I have a specific measurement that I'm like, this is perfect, not too tight, but tight enough. Because here's a whip of a white background, and as you know, white tends to have horrible gapping.
Yes.
Really up close, yes, you can see a tiny bit of this, and this is before we got rid of grid lines. But like back here, you can't
tell.
really see.
No.
Yeah, and that's always like unanimously all light colored, like color blocking, you're gonna see gapping.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just taking a look at the other ones.
So-
Diamonds Around the World says they've done 2 customs from you, and also had a coworker get one from you.
Oh, thank you.
Billy once says, my thumb is so sore it hurts from DPing all day. Would the palm pen stop the sore cramp thumb from happening?
I mean, I can't guarantee, because I don't know what your pain stems from, but it's definitely something that's worth a try. Like I said, I figured out that the thinner the pen, the more painful it was for me. And so you could get the one that Rhonda has, where it's like more of an egg shape. This one is like a curve shape. So I rest my thumb right in this groove and hold it like this.
Yeah. I think too, it depends on how tight you hold.
Yeah,
like with certain ones.
I hold very tight.
Yeah, and if you're a hard placer, you'll still notice it, right? Jen's like,
that's why I do like the thicker pens, because I hold really tight, and so right where I hold, I like to have the bigger, not as big as that. I haven't had the opportunity to have something as wide as what you have. So I'm gonna have to check that out, because everything I've purchased has come from the 1-inch block that they go down to.
And I've tried so many in a similar circumference to those, like the thicker, chunky, like longer pens, and they're still never thick enough for me.
Right.
That, again, sounds bad.
That's why I said wide. I was about to say thick.
You like the chunky
one. Have way less
this
pain
is the thickest one I have. But
yeah,
it doesn't feel good up here. So that's why I'm wondering. Yeah, see, that's why I'm wondering if yours would feel better, because it's not the full Monty.
Yes, I don't like the long ones. I'm a flipper. I'm a flipper.
Kathleen says, to take us in a different direction, Jade, can you take a step back, because some people aren't as educated as you are in the diamond painting world, and explain what you mean by like a tell of a painting is hand versus computer rendering, because she has to admit she's a little confused.
You're not the only one.
I actually have a kit that I did in computer/hybrid render. It was before we did more hand touch-ups. This is like earlier on in my done painting, so it's a little more computer than I allow at this time. But I have the same one that I just hand charted. So if you want, I can run upstairs and get those.
Well, that'd be awesome.
Oh yes,
Okay.
please.
Yeah,
Pop
yeah.
them yourself.
You don't need to run. You can take your time.
I'm gonna run.
Lizzie's like, this is getting bad. I know. It's like as soon as we draw attention to it, it gets worse.
Oh, and of
While
course,
she's
then I
gone,
go down the squirrel. So.
I can show my painting.
Yes.
I am not done with it. I have a lot left to do.
Nice. Nice.
So I have all of this left to do.
So I've got 3/4 of what you have left done, but I have everything else to do.
And I have a bunch still in the spots that I have left that I'm waiting for my Tmall purchase to come. So.
Oh, Momo says, I love that we can vote too.
How are the turkeys? Ellen, did you get my message that there's a spot? I'm so bad because I've been so sick. So I need to email you this week. But Ellen, there's a spot.
How are the
Ellen was
turkeys
the
doing
one
at your-
alumni that was on our waiting list. So I hope she can make it.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, so how are your turkeys?
They are gone right now because of the snow. It's way too cold.
Aw. See, that's why I need to give you the pine cone turkeys.
Okay, you got to make her big now.
Okay.
1 second.
All good. Take a breath.
I gotta open this one because I haven't. So this one, to be fair, has not been diamond painted yet, but I do plan to.
So this is how they come. I've never seen a jade unboxing.
They come in a white box with my
I'm a
logo,
virgin.
and the size information and all that is on the end.
Beautiful. I love your logo, but I love
Oh.
anything green and jade.
I am a sucker for green. I love my hair was green for like 8 years.
I could see that actually.
And I was a scene kid, which is basically like cute emo.
I don't know if Momo's delayed because she's saying she now likes the short ones.
Momo,
Okay.
you like the short ones are on it? Yes, I like the short ones. I'm a flipper.
So, okay. Now,
So which
this
one
is
is
a
this?
little...
Is this the hand rendered?
So, okay, this is a little bit of an unfair comparison because this one is a 40 by 40, whereas this one is a 50 by 50, but you should get the gist. And maybe we can pull up the images on my website because I do still have both.
Yes.
This in hand rendered and computer rendered, or not computer, hybrid. Anyway.
Hybrid.
Rhonda, do you know how to do that?
Which?
Pull up Jade's website.
And show it?
Yes.
Well, she wants to do this one first, I think.
Yeah, okay. So
Yep.
this is the hybrid render. So as you can see, there's a little bit of that dithering, that color noise where it like alternates between two colors to get a blending effect. Like see right here, there's like 6 different colors in that area.
Yeah.
And from a distance, it looks very clear. But up close, you can notice, like especially right here, that color blending.
Yeah.
So that's going to be your more hybrid, your computer rendered. When you want softer transitions and stuff, and you don't want that 8-bit feel, that noise and confetti from a distance, your eye automatically blends it, and it makes it more of a blurred, you know, like similar to the original picture effect.
Like a one color effect because your eye's doing it for you.
But then when you have the hand rendered where you go in and transfer each dot up close, see, there's none of that random noise.
Yeah.
So see how the belly on the black character, how it on the other one it was like 3-4 different colors, and there it's just a couple.
Yeah.
One or two.
And each, like, see, the lines are very blocky.
Yep.
There's not a smooth transition because it's just, it's got that more pixel art feel. So that's going to be your main difference. Now, again, this is a little bit of an unfair comparison because this one is larger and hand charted and that one is smaller.
No, but I tell the difference because especially in that grass, there's that yellow line where it's almost like a checkerboard yellow to kind of blend. But then on the 50 by 50,
Yeah.
It's all one color.
Yeah. And see, especially pay attention to the outlines of things. Mm-hmm. So if you look at the outline of this yellow character here, you can see that on this one, it transfers between probably 5 or 6 colors to get that gradient and that softer like transition. But here it's a little bit harsher.
Yeah.
But it's a lot easier to diamond paint. That's why hybrid I consider more of an advanced thing. Or if you really want like a more photorealistic effect. But if you want something fun and easy, more beginner friendly, I would go with hand charted. Because I think all of that, you know, blending and noise work away, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like I'm thinking too, like when you're talking about like larger detailed ones, you have to be really careful where when you computer render it, it kind of like will give you like, so for example, if you have something like this and you go, how come I don't have the detail in my canvas? Because it hasn't been hand touched.
Yes.
Right. So if you have
basically it's like a human's mind can say, okay, this shape should be here, this color should be here, whereas a computer is analyzing it and being like, okay, based on the pixel of this area, this is the mid-tone, and just selecting that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Haha. Oh no, this is the part that. Okay. So this is her site.
So
Carolyn says, great explanation. Thank you.
Go ahead and search family portrait or The Apprentice, either one.
You're going to see if I can actually spell.
Girl, I can't spell for anything. I'm dyslexic. So see when you hover over, I wonder, because that's going to be the largest render, so it's not a fair size comparison.
Right.
So this one right here, this is the hybrid version. So go ahead and select 50 by 50 crop.
Now, when you say this is, I'm glad you're on here because when you have recommended, I want to know from you, is that the one you would do?
Well, obviously not, because they're recommended. It says 60 by 60. I did the 40 by 40, so I did the smallest.
But I meant like, because price is a deal too.
Yes.
And I was going to buy some cat.
Yes.
And hers are a little bit expensive, rightfully so.
Because you need to have them a little larger.
Because you need to have the larger. And I was going back and forth because I can handle a larger canvas because I'm more of a larger canvas person.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sitting here going, when she says recommended, is Jade saying you're going to be okay if you choose the recommended? Because I was looking at your renderings and I love that you have your renderings on the site. And I was like, I don't know if I like the rendering, but it could be because I'm really looking at it going, do I trust the process? But I've already seen the best of the best. Yeah. If I hadn't seen these other two, would I be fine with this one?
Yeah. So here's the general rule I go for if I'm doing a hybrid. So just so you guys know, all of the renders on my site are just computer rendered. So they are not the official rendering. They will be cleaned up and touched up and look a lot cleaner once it even says in the listing, second image is just an imagined rendering, because we do go in and take out unnecessary colors and stuff. But
so it looks even better than these good ones.
So I always say, look at the render that of the picture that you're okay with at the smallest, and you could even go a size down if you're doing square, because the render is going to be touched up.
So if I look at the recommended and I'm okay with the one above it, and that's the one I want to get above it, then I should be okay with the recommended.
If it's square. If it's round, I say stick to the.
Oh, I do square.
That you like. Yeah, I'm not a round person, but they are larger, so you need it larger to be clearer. So generally, what I mean when I have recommended on something, this is the recommended because this is going to have a good amount of detail, where I think most people would be happy. And this is like the smallest I would go if you're really a person for detail. Now, on images like this, like the family portrait, it's very cartoony. You don't need a lot of detail. So as you see, it says 60 by 60 there, but it looks just fine at 40 by 40.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I never put a thing where you could purchase it if I don't think the render will look okay finished. Now, it won't be the clearest at the smallest size, but it will look good enough. But recommended is like, that's where you're going to get a decent amount of detail.
Right. Now, the other thing that's nice about this is once I decide which one I want, you have options.
I do have options. I like being very customizable.
Now, can you the glimmer and glow, and you have all of these different...
Look at this mica powder.
Do you want me to show you what those things are?
Oh, yes.
Ooh. Okay, let's stop faster.
We've got to make her the star again.
Since I hand render my kits, I have what is called the Scroll of Knowledge, which is every DMC on here.
Scroll of Knowledge! Yes!
So I can, go through.
I want one of those.
So I can go in and make sure that, the colors are blending correctly when I'm hand rendering. And, later I can even show you the image I'm currently hand rendering. So this is Glimmer. It's going to be most similar to what some companies call fairy dust or pixie dust. It has that fine glitter shimmer inside of it.
Okay.
So that is going to be your glimmers. Metallics are drills with a metallic coating.
I love metallics. They're one of my favorites.
They look like metal jewelry almost.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have crystals. So this is going to be more of a transparent drill, which is great for if you want to enhance like gemstones, wet things. I like doing it for water, for jewelry. Sometimes, like, say if I was a hand renderer like glasses, I would use one of these or a metallic. I prefer crystals a little bit more, just that's my preference, but some people prefer metallic. So those are kind of interchangeable. It just depends if you want a surface level color or if you're fine with having like that transparency on the color. Because sometimes crystals don't always look the most amazing, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. AB is your classic AB. Everyone knows AB. They are
the iridescent on it.
An iridescent coating. Then we have glow jellies.
Love the jellies.
So they're semi-transparent except for the white. The white is very opaque. And those ones, I always say use with caution because they are transparent and you can see the symbol through it sometimes. So just
good note.
Be careful when selecting that one. And so those are the special drill options.
I fell in love with jellies when I did my mermaid pigs. Rhonda, have you
mermaid
ever seen
page?
my mermaid
No.
pics?
No.
Gosh,
You gotta
I have
show
to
it.
show you my. Okay, this is my chance to run and go grab something while you guys talk.
So this is a mica powder tube. Now, what
I gotta.
I have a
Jen's
video
back.
on my YouTube channel called the mica method, and it's pretty much I use mica powder to fill in any gapping. Now, this could be on any kit. Doesn't matter where from. Diamond Art Club, Unimade, Jade Gem Shop, anywhere can have some gapping, you know, if you're not perfect at placing. So you can use white or black mica and fill in those things and just like rub it, buff it out. So it's going to fill in those gaps kind of like caulk and make it so you're not really seeing the shadow of the gap. What my favorite use for this is, so you know, some people, they put washi around the border of their kit so that it's not sticky. I don't like washi. I feel like it always peels off. It just gets dirty and messy in the way. So what I like to do when I'm diamond painting, I will cut around the edge of the painting so that it, you know, shows all of the sticky that doesn't have any drills that are going to be placed on it. Then I take this, obviously open it, and in circular motions, I just put this over the glue, and then you don't get like hair or dust or dirt collecting in it. This is an example of how it looks when you did that. This was on my table for a good week and a half. I have a lot of dogs. I eat on top of my diamond paintings. And as you can see, it looks clean. And there is a slight shimmer to it when I bend it. And it just keeps things clean and tidy. So that's what I use my mica pen for. And after I made the YouTube video where I did the mica method, people were saying, well, I don't know which one to buy. I don't know how to apply it. So I made these tubes that you can buy, and they're refillable. So you don't have to keep buying from me. You can just get any mica, put it in there, crush up some eyeshadow, put it in there, you know, whatever you want to do.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting. So I put the link because I was actually watching that video the other day.
Really?
I was. So I've put it in the chat so you guys can all go find it. Because I don't know where I've been. Mica just seems like a new thing to me. And I'm like, what do you mean it's been around? And I'm like, yeah, use eyeshadow. I'm like, what? Hang on a second, time out. Like, you need to talk to me about this because where has this been? Right?
Well,
and then I saw your video and I'm like, you knew all about this and you didn't tell me? Like,
I made a video. I did tell you.
Yeah.
So mainly I started using mica powder because I have sensory issues. I have ADHD. So touch and texture, feelings, things. So feeling the sticky go on my arm again and again just made my skin crawl. I hated it. So I figured out, okay, I could do this. And again, if you don't like mica powder because like you don't like shimmery things getting everywhere, you're worried about it getting anywhere, you can also use cornstarch. You can use baby powder, just anything to mattify the area, and it'll take away the sticky. And if it's, you know, a white powder, sure, it won't be shimmery, but you could still use baby powder or cornstarch to fill in those gaps as well on light colors, not dark colors.
I've never even heard of that one before. I'm like, really? It's in my kitchen? Get out of here.
Yeah, you can test it out, and then you can be like, hey, I actually like the way this feels, but I'd prefer a little bit of shine. Then you can use mica powder instead.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, Carolyn has a question here, and she says, isn't that really time consuming to hand chart? So when you hand chart, that is like, how do you do it and not feel overwhelmed, and how long does it take you to do it?
So obviously it depends on the size of an image. So if you go on my website, I just recently put out a kit that says In the Rain. That one took 4 hours. It's a very simple image, simple outline, color blocking. Those type of images are very fast to get out just because there's not a lot to them. You know, there's not a lot of blending. There's not a lot of stuff. Currently, I'm working on a very busy, complicated image. And so far, I got a base render from a supplier. Was not great. Looked pretty bad, in my opinion. So I just started fixing it and prepping it to try and, make it hand rendered. And so far I've spent about 6 to 9 hours on it, and I'm about 40% done.
Okay, well that's not as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, for me, it would be like
faster over time. It takes a long time to get it, and you also have to have a certain amount of knowledge about colors and shading and blending and stuff like that to be able to be successful at it. I've had actually quite a handful of small shops who like hand rendered kits who ask me like, "Oh, can you show me how?" And I try and help them, and they're like, I have no clue. So you just also do kind of have to have an art knowledge background.
Yeah. And it's not everybody's thing either, right? So if it's not your thing that doesn't entice you, then don't force yourself to do it.
Yeah, I have fun doing it. It is complicated. It kind of gives me the same brain itch as like doing confetti images, where it's like you're kind of irritated and you're focused and you just like want to get it done, but it's so satisfying when you get it done because it was more complicated. So I will say, since I started hand rendering images, I've preferred doing more hand rendered kits because when I'm diamond painting, I don't need that brain itch. I want smooth brain. I want to just place and not think. But when I'm hand rendering, that's where my brain itches, and it's my thinking, and it's me combing through 500 colors to pick the right shade to do for this thing.
Yeah. And I think too, because you have that scroll of color, that would help because I'm a visual person. So to sit down and go, okay, well, what am I? Oh, like I don't have a sample of the different drills. So I can go, right.
Yeah.
So I think that makes a difference as well.
Also, like, no matter what software you use, the DMC colors in a software are never going to perfectly match the shade, hue, or anything. I've had a couple of my kits when I finally got a sample and did them, the colors were like completely off. And I was like, oh, okay. So I had to have a learning curve when I was doing it. And I had to, that's why I got the scroll of knowledge. So I can check in between and be like, does this color blend into this color? Does this color blend into this color? And that's probably a good 25% of the time it takes to hand render is double checking all the color transitions and making sure it's right.
Yeah. See, that's what I want to know, Carolyn. Is the scroll of color for sale?
I can think about it. I didn't know somebody would want that. But I mean, I can talk to my supplier, but would people want it where it's already diamond painted on there, or would they get a set and they diamond paint it on?
I would do either, to be quite honest. I think people would love.
I'll talk to my supplier. I argued with them. I was like, I need this scroll. If you do not do it, I will die. They were like, oh,
exactly. Okay, Jen's back with her, so I'm going to make her big. Okay, Jen.
Okay. So this is what inspired Ashley and I, Crashly, to do our March Get Your Weird On.
Oh, I love that event.
And this also is what inspired me to really use mixed medium drills, because I was very like using glass drills and crystals and pixie dust and all the different kinds of drills. And so people thought I was crazy, but everyone fell in love with this. And I call it mermaid pigs.
Yeah, I'll ask you in a minute here. Okay, Tammy? Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. I love that.
Oh my goodness.
That is too funny.
So there are sparklers and crystals and glow drills and ABs. And this was before the pixie dust came out. Otherwise, there would be pixie dust in here. But this is what inspired the Get Your Weird On, because I had a company contact me. This was right before the whole licensing art came out. And they said, you have a channel. We want you to highlight our company. And I was like, all right. But then I'm like, I'm really big into making sure work is licensed. And so I went and tried to find the paintings that I could find that weren't licensed artwork. And this was one of the few that was on their site that didn't at that time. Now, I think an artist is connected to this, but at that time I couldn't find it. And so I thought I was safe. But this was probably 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago when I did it. And that's what inspired our Get Your Weird On. So
I love it. It actually looks like scales.
Mm-hmm. So originally it didn't look that good until I did all the different jellies and things like that. I will say
I love enhancing my kits. I think that's the funnest part of hand rendering is deciding all the special drills, especially since I know people have, like, a lot of people have trouble, like, you know, enhancing them. So some people, no problem. Like, I know Andy, you seem to be able to. I love doing it on my own. So it's fun to be able to help people doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Although I refuse to use ABs. I hate them.
Okay, so Tammy has a question for you. It has to do with your squares. And let me see, I can make sure I have it here. Squares, do they still have the X-ray effect look?
So if you use grid lines, they tend to still have that X-ray effect. If you choose no grid lines, usually it doesn't. This is a square kit, the one that I showed you earlier. So if this is X-ray to you, then yes, it's still X-ray. If not, then probably not. So what she means about the X-ray effect, this has grid lines. And this center part is not finished. This is like a whip I will probably never finish. But see how it has that like color photo negative effect?
Yep.
That's what she's talking about.
Okay.
So it does when you have grid lines.
Okay.
So you can actually choose to not have grid lines?
Yes. I prefer no grid lines. I feel like it gives a cleaner, nicer finish in the end, but it is completely up to other people. I don't have a problem staying in the lines with no grids.
So it looks like it comes no grids and you have to add grid lines.
Yes.
Okay, so that's good to know.
Yep.
So if you definitely want the grid lines, the assistance, then make sure you add that to your order.
Yes, but all
I personally don't
have very faint, thin grid lines no matter what. So that's not an option to add on or off.
Okay, no, and that's good to know. I know I prefer not to have the grid lines, but then I'm also anal with my tweezers because I'm a confetti person too. So I'm like, ooh, they have to be. I do not like rounds. There's been a couple of images that came out and I'm like, oh, I love that. Is it a round? Yes. Okay.
Same. I literally refused to. Earlier this year, I was testing a hand render because I wanted to make sure the hand rendered kits looked good.
Excuse me.
With the round drills as well. Bless you. And I probably did like a 2 square inch section. I was like, I'm done. I can't do this. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah, that's me with color blocking and dark colors. I'm like, let me just get my tweezers and poke my eyes out. I can't do it.
But you know, a little fun fact about my shops. So obviously I see every order that comes in because I like hand pack them, everything like that. I'd say about 90% ordered kits are squares.
Oh, interesting.
There's rarely rounds purchased. It might not even be that. It might even be 95% square and then 5% round.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so I'm just looking at the time. I don't want to take all your evening away, but I'm thoroughly enjoying this. I am definitely bringing you back on. We have so many questions, and everyone's saying this has been such a great live because it's been informative, it's been fun, great explanations. Like, And yeah, I definitely am going to have to take a look. Are you going to Texas again next year?
Yes. As
Okay.
far as I can tell, yes.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to chat and see, because our postal system is still, well, they're getting back to working, but some of them are still going, no, we're not. So we'll have to work things out. But yeah, if you find out about the color scroll.
Okay,
That,
I will find out about that. Before we go, did you want to see real quick what I'm working on?
Yes.
of course, is that a silly question? Yes.
Well, I mean, you were saying we were gonna go, so I was like, oh no.
No. I don't want you to feel like you have to stay and you're like, oh God, let
I'm
me go
fine.
around it.
No, I'm fine. My husband's playing his video game on the other couch. He's fine.
Oh, please.
Let me see if it will allow me.
Okay.
Can you see this?
Ooh, hang on. Can I make her it? Hang on.
Hold on. I might be able to make it a little bit easier to see the full thing. Hold on. Let me take off the original image.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, you can see the whole thing?
Yeah.
So the first one is what my supplier sent me. So as you can see, like the papers on the floor should not be an orange color. They're very much a tan, like yellow color. So I fixed that so far. Still obviously in the process, you can see I haven't fully removed all of the orange. I've done about half of the photos on the wall, and those picture frames are fully metallic.
Wow.
And you know, I have to go in and like hand choose which pixels to try and make up those tiny little images. And they may still alter. I may make the skin on that little figure in the top portrait a little darker to blend in a bit more. But as you can see, like the skin was very bright orange and coral in the first one. Whereas the second one, the skin blends a lot better. And I feel like I did way better on the face. Not to brag.
And this is, I think for me, this is the part I love the most, because I get to see the differences and go,
so
wow.
This picture is the original. And, you know, there's a fine line of what you're able to change up.
Yeah.
And the colors on this, I will say, are a little inaccurate. They are a little bit deeper. Like this color right here is 3371. That is the darkest brown. So it's not quite this light. Everything here is a little bit desaturated. The system, for some reason, does that. So it'll blend much closer to the original image once it's done. And all of this white coming in from the windows, that's going to be glimmer.
Ooh.
And yeah, so it's just like going in and doing each little thing. I usually pick an area and then focus on fixing that little thing. So like I've finished the plant behind her head. As you see, like it was very brown and like lifeless, where here, you know, it's a little bit more.
It actually looks like a different type of plant in the first one versus the original and what you've been able to do. Like I would have thought that was like an actual bud of some kind because of the color.
Yeah. And, you know, we also have to work within the range of the DMC that are available.
Yeah.
So, you know, and it's going in making all these crisp lines and everything. Yes, what was that?
So you mentioned glimmer and metallic, but I've been like taking things in and out of my cart. And do we only get that if we add the glimmer or the metallic options?
So for hand charted, all of the special drills are already chosen and they are in there no matter what.
Okay.
When it comes to hybrid, you only get them if you add them in.
Okay. So if I went through the all diamond paintings, how do I know if something is hybrid or hand charted?
So
is
in
it
the
because
title,
then I choose special?
Yeah. So in the title, it will say pixel render if it is hand charted.
Okay.
If it doesn't have that, then it is hybrid. Usually you can also tell by if it has more than 2 options, it's usually a hybrid. And the checkboxes to add things to your order will be different. So for the pixel kits, hand rendered kits, you don't have the option of adding special drills. It's not even there. But you'll have the mica, the logbook, the just various other products. And but when you're in a hybrid, the first options will be those special drills.
Okay.
So that's also a good tell.
No, that's good to know. Okay. Jade, if we get stumped, will you help before we order?
Of course.
So
you guys can always message me. You could say, hey, I'm not really sure. I get questions all the time, and I'm happy to answer.
Oh, yeah. She won't be going, yeah, oh my gosh, it's this person again. Will you please stop messaging me?
No. I hold people's hands through the process all the time, especially because a lot of people, I feel like my shop is a little more for the advanced diamond painter who's like been diamond painting for a while. They know a little bit of what's going on when it comes to certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So I totally understand when people are just branching out and they're just used to doing whatever kit that a company releases as they release it. Since mine is so much more customizable, it can be a little bit more scary to press that purchase button.
Yeah. Well, and you have a wide variety of different types of paintings.
Yeah, I have I think it's 1,300 currently.
So there is something for everyone on your site.
Yes.
Like if you like oh my goodness, I just had a brain fart. There's an event that is the Single and Placing does it. It's like the older
Summer with the Masters.
Thank you, the Masters. You have stuff there. If you like more of the darker arts, you got stuff there. If you like the anime stuff, you got stuff there. Color, that's one thing. I go through yours. I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, oh, but now my cart's like this big, and I'm like, okay, wish list. So I'm just going to take a look and see if anybody has any other questions. I always have questions. The Leopard Leatherworks and Jade is great. Even help me decide which to get.
Yeah, I'm always happy to help because, again, I know that since mine is so different from other shops, it can be like a lot more confusing.
Oh, Tammy says you also have cross-stitch conversion.
We do. So if you buy a cross-stitch pattern and you'd like to do it as a diamond painting instead of a cross-stitch, you can send me an email, say, hey, I'd like to do a cross-stitch conversion. They send me the pattern, information at the very least. I need to know the size and then the amount of drills needed. And then I do all the math. I tell you, hey, this is how much it'll be if you want it. If you say yes, then I make you a listing and you can check out. And I've seen, they're retired now. Even the patterns are retired. But the Princess panels from Mandy Manzano, for a long time, Creatively Stitching had those patterns on her Etsy. And people constantly got cross-stitch conversions of that because that's how bad they wanted the Princess panels.
Yeah. Oh, Leopard Leatherworks says they love your mystery kits too.
Oh yeah. So if you have if you have a hard time deciding what to get, we have an option of just a general mystery for a hybrid render. And I'm thinking of maybe doing a pixel charted mystery where you don't know what it's going to be and I can just put it out. But quarterly, the Crafters Den Discord, we do a quarterly mystery. They're always hand charted. The first one wasn't, but then we learned it's probably easier to just have one option that people can just check out. And we've had a great time with those. It's so fun being able to, see everyone working on the same kit and discovering like what the image ends up being every time. So every 4 months we have a new one. So that'll be it'll be the Crafters Den winter, summer, fall mystery. And those ones are just a hoot.
Okay, well, now you've got me intrigued on that one. Oh, this is going to be so bad.
And those are pixel charted, so they're a little bit easier. You're not going to have to worry about confetti and black and white. You're just going to have to worry about, just doing it as a normal pixel charted kit.
Oh, cool. Okay, well, I'm awaiting for Winter Crafter's Den now, Leopard Leatherwork says. Raccoon Eyes, how do you do customs? I wanted a kit of my fave celebrity. Is that a licensing thing?
So
Well, real quick before you answer that,
okay,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I am going to have to take off because I have a
What are you
huge
taking
load
off?
of laundry, and it's 10:30 Eastern Standard, and I have to get up at 6. So
Go, leave, run away.
unless you want to see me like fold my underwear in front of you.
Oh, can you put it on your top of your head and be like, underpants?
No.
Okay, then I guess we'll let you go.
At the retreat, I can.
Okay. Thanks, Jen.
So, I will be lurking in your ear, listening to you guys. But
Okay, you have a nice night.
Thanks for
It's
coming
so
on,
nice to meet you.
Jade. I appreciate you.
Okay. So customs.
Oh, okay. So if you go on my website, there is a button that says custom diamond painting. You click on that. It takes you to a Google form, and you'll upload the image. And then if it's like something that you need an artist permission to use, you will upload that permission. If it comes to a celebrity's photo, it really depends. You have to find out who took that photo and if they're okay with it. If you took the photo, you could have it done. You know what I mean? So licensing with photography is a little different. You have to find the photographer. It doesn't matter who's in the image.
Okay. Yep. No, that makes sense because the photographer would have gotten the authorization to take the picture.
Well, even if they didn't, they own that. Once you make a piece of art, so if their photography is they consider art, it automatically is copyrighted material to them.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Tammy says, yep.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Have you ever thought about doing or try doing licensing for J-Wall kits? That's a tough one.
Yes, and I will not, because I don't like working with licensing companies. I feel like they tend to be a little too strict and a little too unfair to artists. A lot of the ones I talk to are somewhat predatory, so I'm not a fan of that. I'd rather license through a artist directly. So unfortunately, her I would not, because she strictly licenses through a licensing company, and I'm not comfortable going through a licensing company.
And if I'm not mistaken, she's very determined with her art of how it's done.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Raccoon says, I wanted to do a guest ad of Anna Nicole Smith.
So most likely you would not be able to get permission to do that. I mean, I couldn't stop you from getting a custom from, like something on AliExpress or Alibaba or something like that. But unfortunately, I will only do things that are legally licensable.
Well, and that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, because it's a guest ad, then
so guests would own that image.
Yeah.
And I think that would be really hard to get permission to use it.
Yeah, no. Now, if there was more of a general one that was royalty free, that would be different.
Yeah. Like if there's stock image sites, and if like you can find an image you like of a celebrity on a stock image site, then those are free game.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly.
Now, if you commission an artist to redo it as a painting, then I can do it based on that artist. But I wouldn't be able to do the photography one unless you had permission from guests.
Good point. The differences to it. Yeah. Yes. No, that's awesome. Okay, so I'm a little curious about the. Sorry, I'm being greedy right now. Is the Winter Crafter's Den? Can you tell me a little more about that? Because you've really piqued my interest.
So if you join the Crafters Den Discord, which there is also a link on that listing for the Winter Mystery, when you go on the Discord, there are spoilers and stuff. So fair warning, if you don't want to be spoiled for the Winter Mystery, click off or mute for a couple minutes. Let me find it. So I'm going to say what the spoilers are. They're not spoilers. You won't find out what it is, but it'll just say colors to expect, the size, the artist, the theme. So the colors for the Winter Mystery are all types of blue. All types of blue, the whole spectrum of blue.
Oh, interesting.
And it is obviously a winter-inspired image. So the theme we're calling Winter Wonderland. I will say it is not religious in the slightest. It's not like, offensive to religion, but it's just not a religious painting.
Yeah. Well, I think that is good to know, though, because when I try and find a mystery canvas or something like this, I don't want just a complete mystery.
Yeah. I
have certain preferences. So color, size, kind of theme, kind of artist.
Yeah.
And then I can go take a look at the artist. Okay, is that the type of art I like? Okay, you know what?
Exactly.
I'm willing to try.
Exactly.
And then that's a surprise because I still don't know what it is.
Exactly. I always say my mysteries are a little bit safer. So if you're getting a hybrid mystery from me where it could be anything from the shop, you can say, I like this artist, I like this color scheme, and I'll find something that works for you in the size you selected. And when it comes to the Discord mysteries, we always have a little list of hints. So size and color, 45 by 60 centimeters, so not super huge, definitely manageable. 57 colors, 8 special drills, 3 crystals, 3 glimmers, 2 metallics, which, by the way, I did this render and I'd say it's pretty great. And the artist is Toshia-san.
I'm not familiar with that one.
So Toshia-san is actually my most popular artist. She is my highest paid artist, the one that people ask for the most. So if you haven't seen Toshia-san, check her out because most people like her.
Yeah, I know what I'll be doing later tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, hold on.
I'm going to actually have to sign into the Discord and join you guys because that's sounding right up my alley.
Yes, do it. The more the merrier. We're always happy to have more people in the Discord. The owner of the Discord was at the Texas Retreat. Sweetest girl. Amazing. Love her.
Oh, perfect. Okay, now I've got another hobby. That's going to be awesome.
Well, it's great. It's like a more close-knit version of Facebook. So you can you're seeing the same people, but you can share your whips, you can share, there's a venting channel. There's all kinds of different subcategories where you can have conversations with people. And it's nice to have that little niche. And you don't have to participate in every channel. I'm only in about 4 channels that I exclusively check, and I'm always in there. And you can tag people to come look at things. It's just a great experience.
Okay, well, I'll have to be a newbie and kind of muddle my way through the Discord.
Yeah, and if you need help, let me know. I don't mind helping.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So are you taking any holidays?
I mean, work doesn't feel like work to me. So probably not. I'll probably render because I'm bored, or I'll diamond paint, which is still technically kind of work because I'm, testing my product, making sure it's still up to par. I don't really take breaks from work except for I had a small medical thing last year and I didn't work for a week and I was like, oh my God, I need to get back to work.
Yeah, that's when you know it's your thing to do. It's I
love this so much better than when I was a teacher.
Yeah, can you imagine Jade as a teacher?
I love the students, hated the staff.
Oh, interesting. What grade did you teach?
It was kind of all over. Youngest was 2nd grade, oldest I did was, I think, 8th. Because I'm kind of like, I was called, what was my position? I would basically take over for teachers who needed a long time break. So say they got ill and they needed to be in the hospital, say they had maternity leave, they were on bereavement, things like that, I would take over. So it just kind of depended.
Oh, you would have been an awesome teacher. I remember when Jade was a teacher, Tammy says she hated it so bad. Not the students.
Yeah, the students are great. Some of them still message me. Some of them call me mom, and there's a couple who asked me to adopt them. The kids are always my favorite. I have so many drawings and doodles of me because the students just wanted to draw me. But it's so weird. So the students loved me a lot, and other teachers would get jealous.
Yes.
And I'm like, is this high school? We're adults. What are you doing?
It's a human thing.
Yeah. And I taught online for the first year and a half, I believe. And my students thought it was real funny to take a screenshot of me when I was making a funny face. I'm very expressive. I make a lot of funny faces. And especially if a student was sad or mopey in class, I'd just like keep making faces or whatever to try and cheer them up. And my students got the bright idea to take those screenshots and make them their profile picture. And one of my coworkers did not like that, said my face was scary, that they didn't like it. And the kids were joking that they were in the Miss Margison cult. And I literally had to have a meeting with the vice principal over the matter. He thought it was hilarious, and he said to keep doing it, but just don't call it a cult. And she was so mad. She was so salty. And I'm like, okay, maybe be a bit better teacher then. Maybe have better discourse with the students if you're mad about it. Like, why are you making it my problem?
It's not your problem. It's their problem. It's their issue. And yeah, it's a human thing when you can see you really want a connection with someone or a group, and you see that with somebody else, you're like, it's a bit of a jealousy. Like, because it's something you don't have, but you want.
Yeah.
Right?
I've always been such a people person. I'm very easy to know and, get along with. Although I will say sometimes somebody's personality or like aura will hit me wrong. And I'm like, I don't like you.
Yep.
And I don't hide it. I'm like, hey, we can just agree to coexist, but I don't want to talk to you. Don't want to be your friend. And it's so funny. Those people are the ones who so desperately want to be my friend. But I'm like, I can tell there's something off about you, and I don't vibe with that.
Yeah, it is. I'm very similar to that, where I will walk into a room and I'm like, okay, I'm going over here. That group, I'm good to stay away from. I'm good. Right? And yeah, sometimes you get that feeling of, yeah, you know what? Water and oil. Nope, we're good. You go do your thing.
Like, literally, when I was in college, some guy in my theater class, I was like, don't talk to me. If we have to work in groups, that's fine. But I don't vibe with what you put out there. Like, and he literally cried to the professor and said that he didn't know why I didn't like him, and would like tell the professor, like, can you figure out what I can do to make her like me? And I'm like, bad vibes, no.
Yeah, she's being mean. Well, how's she being mean? Well, she doesn't like me.
She's setting boundaries.
Yeah, that's usually your first sign that, okay, I'm not giving you what you want rather than what you need. Mm-hmm. What I need is this, and that does not include you, and that is fine. Because you're not gonna click with everybody.
And mind you, this was in college. This guy was like 6'2". Yep. And he cried because I said I did not want to have a conversation with him.
Yep. I can believe that, actually.
And I'm a very friendly person. I rarely have those experiences. And I think he ended up harming a girl in our class. And I'm like, and that is why my brain knew that you were not a safe person.
Well, exactly. Your body tells you, right? And it's usually the ones, because I was actually at work, And I was trying to, I had this idea and I'm like, hey, this might make it a little easier. You won't need to submit for work annually. You know, you could do it this way. And I was just trying to be nice. His boss called me in for a meeting and said I had to be nice to him and not to intimidate him. I'm like, intimidate?
It's not my fault if you're intimidated by me being myself.
You're in the legal area. I'm in IT. How could I be? Okay, whatever. I'm like, Dad, like when I come home, like both my husband and I know him through sports with our kids, and I'm like, guess what? Apparently I intimidated him. And he's like,
Yeah, I
get
get
out of
that I'm
here.
intimidating a lot. I don't think so. I feel like I'm 4'6". How intimidating can I be to somebody who's 6'2"?
Well, and that's exactly it. And like, so the first time I met my husband, he came out later and he goes, I was intimidated by you. I'm like, what? You're 6'5". I'm 5'4". How am I intimidating you? And he's like, because you were intelligent, you were well-spoken, you had a good sense of humor, you know, you were not afraid to have any kind of conversation. That terrified me. I'm like, okay, well, if you can't handle it, bye.
See,
I can't change that.
yeah, my husband, I'm pretty sure he was intimidated by me. He was the quiet type. He was very shy. And I'm just like this loud, you know, overbearing person. And he was like, I like that one. I'll take her.
Pick her up and take her home. No, I love your personality. You have, it's just that vibe when you get that part of it through the screen, but when you get it in person, it's like, done. I'm sticking to you, man. I'm going to put you in my back pocket and just take you home.
That is a highly requested thing, that people take me in their back pocket.
Yep. I'm just taking a look at the chat here. Momo says, when I worked at an elementary school, the kids would listen to me because I talked at their level, and the other teacher had me sent to the principal's office to talk about it.
Oh my God, that's another thing. Why do teachers think that you talk to them like you're above them? Like, that's not what kids want. That's not what kids need. Like, you have to talk to them in a way that they can understand.
And I think that's like at least for me, and I'm only going to speak for me, is I try and talk to people equally. Not that I have more experience than you, or, you know, you're below me. It's like, you're just a person, right? And when I worked, yeah, right. So, and when I was at work, people would, so what you're saying about the other teachers, I would kind of get that with my coworkers, because they're like, how can you talk to him? He's the CIO. And I'm like, he's just a person. He's asking me a question. If I have an answer, I'll give it to him. If he doesn't, if I don't, I don't. Right. But they're like we had the president in the elevator, and he would say hi to everybody. And it wasn't like you'd say his first name. It's like, nope, you call me so and so. I'm like, really? Okay, that's weird. But people would be like, how can you go and talk to the VPs or the CIO? And I'm like, they're just a person.
You just do. You're just people.
Like, take the title out of it, man.
Yeah. Sometimes people are like, but you're the owner of like your own business. I'm like, okay, I'm still just a 4'6", 30-year-old, like with ADHD. Like, there's nothing to be intimidated about.
Oh, well, that is intimidation right there. When you say you don't need to be intimidated, I'm intimidated. It's like, no.
I'm just a person. I'm just a people.
Yeah, exactly. Tana says, great life for some new folks going to her site. and what to look for. I appreciate it. And that, I think that's one of the things I really love talking to you about is it's not just talking about what you have, but explaining it too, and at a level that we actually understand. And if we go, I don't understand, it's like, okay, what do you need to know?
Exactly. Because the thing is, nobody's born knowing everything. You got to learn at some point. I don't understand people who look down on people who don't know or don't understand things. Just because it was common knowledge for you doesn't mean it's common knowledge for them. Like,
common knowledge isn't so common.
Exactly.
Believe
it's common
me.
in your own household. Like, the thing is, I was raised knowing a certain amount of things because my mom was like, okay, I'm going to make sure you know this. But there's things that are common knowledge in my friends' houses, and I'm like, what? Like, that's a thing? So, you know, everybody's born and raised in different environments. We all have to, you know, learn at a different rate. And that's another thing. When people ask me questions, that's why I have tutorials on my YouTube channel about certain different things. And people are like, oh my God, like, thank you. You explained it in a way that, like, I feel like everybody else would just be like, well, you'll know when you see it. And I don't. I'm like, okay, let me show you all the minute, because you have to think of, like, if I didn't know where I was, what are the steps that I am to figure that out?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's tough, right? Marcia says we all bleed red.
Exactly.
Are you sure? Yeah, I do. Right? It's true, because when I'm trying to do something for the first time, I struggle with it. And then I beat myself up because I'm struggling with it and everybody else seems to know what they're doing. And then when I finally get it, it's like, why was this so hard? I'm like, right, because I had to take the steps so I could get there.
Nobody's born knowing everything.
No. Nobody knows everything all the time. It's not possible. Not at all. Yeah, Don P says dismissive. Yep. Well, this has been fun. Do you realize we've been almost 2 hours?
Yes, I see that.
Oh, that's okay. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm going to let you go because I don't want to take all your evening. And I think my son was trying to get my attention because he has a homework assignment that he's trying to get submitted as his last assignment for the semester.
Oh, okay.
So he was like,
yeah, go ahead and help your son. And this isn't going to be the last time we talk. You can invite me whenever.
Oh, you're going to be on my list. I'm just like, oh, when you said yes, I was like, yes.
Of course. If I remember and people remind me, I will.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. Marcia says I run backwards from them people. Yeah, some people try to act that way. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, thank you everybody for joining Jade, our special surprise. And yes, Jade has graciously given something that we will give in the grand prize. So check out her stuff. Definitely make sure you show her some love. I know we will definitely be showing love for Jade ourselves. I'm going to be going and looking at some other stuff now.
And again, don't be afraid to ask questions. I'm happy to help.
How could you be afraid of this face? Exactly. Exactly. Okay, everybody. I will see you guys later. Have a good night.